I never thought that I would be shot by somebody I was with for 10 years.
Dawn Hell's scars serve as a daily reminder of just how quickly life can change. Hell says she was shot 8 times by her ex-boyfriend Charles Taylor near this intersection on New Cut Road and Southside Drive. The couple's 7-year-old son and 3-year-old daughter were in the back seat.
I was afraid for my life. Part of me wanted to believe that he wouldn't intentionally harm my children, but when I was put in that position, I didn't know what he was capable of.
Hell says she ended the relationship at the beginning of the year after a long history of physical abuse. Last month, she was taking her son to school when she noticed something unusual in her rearview mirror. Hell could see that Taylor was following her. When she pulled up to this intersection, that's when she saw him get out of his car with a gun.
I got shot in this arm. There's one here, this one's covered. The first bullet that shattered my window is the bullet that went through my lip, and it severed part of my tongue.
She was shot 5 times in her left arm and once in each hand. She lost her ring finger on her right hand.
I panicked. I didn't think that he was coming to shoot me. So when the first bullet let off, I just kind of did what I could do to protect me and my children.
Hell says she crashed into another car and Taylor ran off. He was arrested Tuesday. Hell says she and the children are still traumatized by what happened.
I have nightmares almost every night. My children have nightmares almost every night.
She wants anyone in an abusive relationship to hear her warning.
I probably had multiple opportunities where I could have left. When you're in love, it's hard, but my advice was just to get out because it only gets worse.
Jamie Mace, WLKY News.
Wow, Jamie, thank you. Taylor is charged with assault and wanton endangerment. He's being held on a $500,000 bond.
Late breaking news now from Oldham County, where an overturned semi has one lane of southbound 71 blocked tonight. This is near Highway 146 in Buckner. A truck is on its side off the roadway. There was an ambulance on the scene, but we don't have many details about any injuries. The left lane of 71 is expected to be closed for at least another hour. We'll keep you updated here on air and online at WOKY.com as we learn any new developments. Well, with Kentucky's primary next week, some politicians are looking ahead to next year. Attorney General Daniel Cameron filed paperwork this morning to run for governor in 2023. If elected, he would be the first black person to hold the office. Cameron has led the legal fight against COVID-related restrictions imposed by Governor Beshear's administration. Cameron is the 3rd Republican to enter the race, along with State Auditor Mike Harmon and AG Commissioner Ryan Quarles.
With COVID cases on the rise in Jefferson County, a congressional candidate had to attend a forum today with his challenger virtually. State Senator Morgan McGarvey says his wife has COVID and he was told to quarantine. His opponent in the 3rd District Democratic primary, State Representative Attica Scott, appeared in person.
Until we get more people in office who reflect the reality of folks every single day who don't have the privilege of connecting to folks with names or money or who have positions, things are going to remain the same.
I've been in the super minority every single day since serving in the state Senate. But while leading those fights, I've still built coalitions and authored and passed 18 bills into law.
John Yarmuth has held the 3rd District seat since 2006, but the 74-year-old decided not to run for re-election. The Kentucky primary is Tuesday, May 17th, but voters can cast their ballots early. The state has approved 3 days of in-person, no-excuse early voting. There are 6 sites in Jefferson County. Those sites will be open tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday from 8 until 6.
An open burn pit is blamed for sparking a fire in the Phoenix Hill neighborhood. Someone driving by called 911 after noticing flames coming from an abandoned building. This all happened on East Broadway near Baird Avenue. Investigators believe something near the burn pit from a nearby homeless camp caught fire and spread to the back of the building. It took crews almost half an hour to put it out. Fortunately, no one was hurt. A Louisville man is in jail tonight after leading police on a lengthy high-speed chase. Sean Fletcher is charged with robbery and fleeing police. Investigators say he carjacked someone at the Circle K there on Preston Highway and Manslake Road late Tuesday night. When officers spotted the stolen car, he took off. The chase ended in a Fern Creek subdivision. Fletcher is scheduled to appear in court tomorrow.
A group of retired and disabled Kentuckians are asking for relief from rising property taxes in Louisville. The Jefferson County Property Valuation Administration says some areas such as Prospect will see property taxes increase by as much as 30%. Now, the hope is that state lawmakers can put a so-called circuit breaker property tax freeze for retired and disabled Kentuckians so they don't get priced out of their homes. For retirees in Prospect, they welcome the idea.
That's a good idea, yeah, because we're on a fixed income. You know, I live in a condo where the assessment keeps going up, and it's difficult, you know, to make ends meet, I guess.
Yes, I would be for assistance for retired individuals on fixed incomes.
And State Senator Gerald Neal says the plan is to introduce legislation in the next session.
An historic move is now complete in Oldham County. WOKY Chopper HD is live over downtown LaGrange, where the original Oldham County Courthouse is now resting in its new spot. The building was moved today for the third and final time to make room for a new courthouse complex to be built around it. Residents fought to incorporate the nearly 200-year-old building into their plans. Crews spent hours today sliding the 820-ton section of the building 63 feet.
Once we get it over the pad, the surveyor will spot it to make sure we have it exactly where they want it. Next week we come back and we'll lower it down on the foundation.
It's historic, and I really feel that history is important and shouldn't just be torn down. I am glad they're doing it. I'm very happy that they are.
The historic building will serve as the entrance of the brand new Judicial Center.
There will be no controversy over this year's Kentucky Derby winner. The Kentucky Horse Racing Commission announced this afternoon that all post-race samples from the Kentucky Derby came back clear. That would include Rich Strike. The colt went from an also eligible to the second biggest long shot to win the Run for the Roses. Of course, last year's Derby winner Medina Spirit was disqualified by the commission after failing a post-race drug test. As a result, trainer Bob Baffert was suspended for 90 days and has a 2-year ban at Churchill Downs. Well, some JCPS students got a first-hand look today at what it takes to work in the healthcare industry.
Yeah, it's part of a program at U of L Health, and our Andy Miners went along as students at Fairdale High School spent the day at University Hospital.
U of L Health offers nursing students the opportunity to attend college for free while also working in their hospitals as a way to give students a hands-on learning experience. And now they're extending another opportunity to get local high school students into the hospitals as well.
This is just one way we can really start planting those seeds early on and really give students a head start.
A head start that can jumpstart students into a successful career in the medical field.
They are motivated by sometimes the parents. They want them to choose a career that's going to be sustainable, and healthcare is that career. But they may not like what they have been in school for, and so shadowing gives them that opportunity to really solidify, this is really what I want to do, or maybe I need to do something else.
The program works with local high schools, including JCPS. They invite students to spend a day in the hospital so they can watch the doctors and nurses in the operating room and any other areas of the hospital that the student might be interested in.
They see a wide range of orthopedics, neurology, trauma. We do a lot of trauma here, and they get to see actual surgical procedures that are going on.
It was pretty cool. At first, it was a little bit scary, but then I got kind of used to it.
Allison Smith, a sophomore at Fairdale High School, is interested in becoming a pediatric nurse. She shadowed at the hospital twice to see what other fields she may be interested in.
I went to the cardiovascular unit, and I got to learn how to read the monitors, and then I went to the NICU, and the babies were so tiny.
She says while she hasn't decided if she'll stay in pediatrics, the experience has convinced her that a career in medicine is where she wants to be.
We want students to not just be competent, but confident. And you really get confident when you shadow and when you get early exposure.
Addie Miners, WLKY News.
The program at U of L Health is open to all high school students interested in pursuing a career in the medical field.
The heat and humidity makes it feel like summertime tonight. Yeah.
Sweating it out, Jay Cardosi. It even looked a little hazy out there as we went outdoors. But are we going to be getting a break from it soon?
Yes. As a matter of fact, the humidity will be dropping off a little bit later on this evening, especially through the overnight. But wow, talk about some midsummer-like warmth across the region today. And folks, it's official. The first 90-degree day of the season in Louisville, about 2 weeks early. Typically, we see this around June 1st. Well, here it is arriving today. The official high, 90 degrees, hottest day of the year so far. And in case you're wondering, how many 90-degree days do we typically get during a year? About 37 of them. So kind of a jump start on the heat. But yes, this humidity, which is still quite high right now, will really start to drop off later on tonight. Live look, that's from the Sheraton in Jeff, looking back towards beautiful downtown Louisville. And as Stefan alluded to, it is kind of hazy out there with the humidity really ramped up. Temperature still at 89 degrees, humidity shy of 50%, that dew point in the upper 60s range. That's the sticky category, and the wind right now is calm, so the feel like is 91. You can see plenty of 80s top to bottom around the region. Still have a 90 coming in from Hardinsburg. You factor in that humidity, and yeah, we're right around the 90-degree mark, if not a little bit warmer. But again, conditions will improve markedly a little bit later on tonight. Even with all the heat and humidity, nothing showing up on the radar scan. We're pretty much clear. If a shower were to pop, it would be in our far western communities over the next hour or two, but really that should be just about it. So here's your forecast pushing through this Wednesday evening. Certainly warm and sticky through early to mid-evening, and then you'll notice the humidity starting to drop off if by chance you're out late evening through the early overnight, and temperatures will be settling back into the middle 70s. Guys, we have a fantastic day on the way tomorrow. Jennifer, I'll let you know if that beautiful weather will last through the weekend. That's coming up next on your 7-Day.
Ooh, can't wait. All right, Jay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Senate Democrats make a push to enshrine abortion rights in federal law, but the divisive measure faced challenges on both sides of the aisle.
Also ahead, drug overdose deaths are surging across the country. Experts believe the pandemic has made the tragic situation even worse. That story, much more, coming up next on the News at 5.
You're watching WLKY News.
A bipartisan group of senators has blocked a Democratic bill that would make the landmark Roe v. Wade decision federal law.
Yeah, even some moderates who support abortion rights are concerned the measure would have gone too far. Natalie Brand has more details from Capitol Hill.
The motion is not agreed to.
Vice President Kamala Harris presided over Wednesday's failed Senate procedural vote on an abortion rights bill.
Sadly, the Senate failed to stand in defense of a woman's right to make decisions about her own body.
It is not Roe v. Wade codification. It's an expansion.
West Virginia Democrat Joe Manchin opposes his party's bill. Instead, he signaled support for a more narrow measure like the one from GOP moderates Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski.
We're supporting the codification of Roe.
Democratic leaders forged ahead with their bill, they say, to get all 100 U.S. senators' votes on the record.
We are going to continue to highlight this issue relentlessly and strongly between now and November.
This bill today is ugly, winner-takes-all politics. It is full of aggressive pro-abortion provisions.
The push to make Roe v. Wade into federal law has intensified in the days since Politico published Justice Alito's bombshell draft opinion from February, which signaled the conservative majority court could overturn the landmark decision.
New CBS News polling shows the fate of Roe versus Wade has yet to motivate most voters heading into this year's midterm elections.
We're a party who defends life.
Today is the start of the galvanization of all women in this country.
The debate over abortion rights has sparked demonstrations nationwide, leading up to a day of rallies planned for this Saturday. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Kentucky is one of more than 20 states which are expected to restrict access to abortion if Roe v. Wade is overturned by the Supreme Court.
A New York judge will release Donald Trump from a contempt finding. But first, the former president must meet certain conditions. That would include paying $110,000 in fines accrued for failing to turn over documents in a civil investigation. New York's attorney general has spent more than 2 years looking at whether the Trump organization misled banks or tax officials about the value of assets. Ukraine's top prosecutor revealed plans for the first war crimes trial of a captured Russian soldier. The man is accused of killing an unarmed civilian who was riding a bicycle 4 days into the war. Prosecutor General's office is investigating thousands of alleged war crimes. Many came to light last month after Russian forces withdrew from around the capital. The UN Human Rights Council will hold its first session on the crisis tomorrow since Russia was ousted from the body.
Drug overdoses in the United States hit a record high last year. New CDC data indicates, nearly 108,000 Americans lost their life to a drug overdose in 2021. Kentucky and Indiana both saw double-digit increases. About 2/3 of last year's deaths involved fentanyl or other synthetic opioids. Overdose deaths have risen most years for more than 2 decades. But experts believe the pandemic made the problem worse as those with drug addictions were isolated and lockdowns made treatment harder to get.
Now, your WLKY weather with Chief Meteorologist Jay Cardosi.
All right, a good old-fashioned summer-like day in progress across the region. The heat index at one point in time, just an hour or two ago, even in town, was up around 95 degrees. So, yeah, you're feeling it out there. And I'm sure these athletes right here are also feeling the heat and humidity. Live pictures coming in from the WLKY Chopper HD. We had some tennis matches going on at KCD in northeastern Jefferson County right now. It's sticky. It's steamy out there, folks. We're at 89 degrees. Humidity about 50% with that dew point in the upper 60s. The feel like is 91, which, by the way, is a little bit better than what it was, again, as I mentioned, just a couple of hours ago. So it's slowly starting to come down. Wanted to show you the dew point temperatures. Now, a dew point is basically the amount of moisture in the low layers of the atmosphere, but it's also a measurement as to how the air can make you feel. So whenever you have dew points in the 40s, 50s, or low 60s, it feels pretty good out there. It's pleasant. Once you climb into the middle and upper 60s, something we have now, at least in Louisville, it's sticky, 70 or higher, and we had dew points of 70 here in town a few hours ago. It's downright oppressive. So let's take a look and see what's going on.